Welcome to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller. We are part of Locked On Podcast Network, and we are covering a comeback for the ages. The Ottawa Senators win it in overtime 4-3 against the New York Rangers. For a moment in time, the Senators are the number one team in the wild card race. And wild is the perfect encapsulation of what we just saw, Pilsy. How did you see this one develop?
A 4-3 overtime win for the Ottawa Senators over the New York Rangers. These two teams battling for the same wild card spot, and one of them is the victor, and it's the Ottawa Senators at home at the CTC, a matinee game. Brady Tkachuk gets the opening goal. He opens it and he closes it, gets the OT winner. He's now on a 5-game goal streak, and Tim Stützle extends his point streak to 14 games. Dylan Cousin gets an assist and 9 hits in his first game as a Senator. I can't believe it. Senators hockey is back. Let's go!
Our captain, not theirs. Rangers fans, you can just watch and enjoy the show that is Brady Tkachuk. In his 300th game, he had 2 goals at Madison Square Garden. That was the Jacob Trouba fight at center ice game. One of those was an OT winner. He does it just the same at home in this one. Since saying that every game is a game 7 from here on out, he scored in every single game. What a feed by Tim Stützle in overtime. He extends his point streak to 14 games, Pilsy. 14 games. And when this was 3-1 midway through the third period, Artemi Panarin gets a way too wide open look on a breakaway. Made no mistake. And there was just over 13 minutes left when that happened. And I was like, or just under. And I said, oh boy, we're going to have to start making excuses. Look, Zetterlund's not here yet.
11-7.
We'll be fine on Monday. It'll be okay. And then it wasn't scored as a power play goal, but it may as well have been. Ridley Gregg, sneaky old Ridley Gregg on the backside, makes no mistake. And once he scored, I had a pretty good feeling that Michael Amadio was going to do it again.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Ross. Like, this team, they found out throughout this game that you're not going to beat Shesterkin cleanly. You're not going to be able just to kind of score the way the New York Rangers were able to score, a squeaker and then 2 goals that Ullmark doesn't really have a chance on. Zibby, top shelf, and then
he
Panarin.
ripped that thing.
Yeah, like Zibby and Panarin, those goals, no chance. The Ottawa Senators were not going to score goals like that, and that's fine. This team knows how to get gritty. Steve Stais brought in guys that he knows has grit. Sabres fans being like, oh, Sens fans think that Dylan Cousin has size, but he's actually so soft. No, he was just playing in a barren wasteland and lost his love of the game. He comes to Ottawa and gets 9 hits in his first game, his first shift. He finished the first check he had an opportunity to. So
he almost had a goal on his first shift too.
Well, a goal, an assist.
Oh, yes. Point.
Because he came in.
Hamonic shooting.
and did a sneaky little drop pass for Batherson. Batherson ripped it. Those two have great chemistry. That's why my lineup, my mock lineup, had those two as a pair for sure, and I hope it stays that way. They looked great, but yeah, this was a game where the Ottawa Senators were going to have to be gritty, and they were going to have to grind it out and find ways to win when they're down 3-1 to the New York Rangers, and they bang away and they figure it out. I'm so happy for this team. I'm so proud of the boys. Like, if you want to be in playoff atmospheres, I would love to hear people in the chat. If you were at the CTC, tell us what the vibes are like. We're going to have a boots on the ground report from our guy Martian, but this is the kind of hockey and the kind of atmosphere you need to create to be successful and to get to the postseason.
Our guy Jackson Rappel writes in,
yes.
What is the Sens record when Dylan Cousins gets a point, Pilsy? Can you advise?
Not a math guy, Ross, but 1-0-0, and it's sad, Ross. RIP. Pour one out for the Norris Pinto Stutzla stat, but I'm excited to create new stats here with Dylan Cousins.
Yes, Dylan Cousins had a fantastic debut. The way he controlled play through the neutral zone with speed that led to his assist. Like, the assist was just a little tap in front, and then it squirts out to the side where Ridley Gray.
Well, he hit the post there.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Cousins hit the post on that assist.
I was just shaking and grooving. I have a split story, so like it's two levels where I was watching it, and I think I hit my head on the roof.
Yeah, I bet.
So high. I looked like Mike Foligno when he scored his first goal, or 500. Copied it, where the knees come up. It was outrageous. The fact that they came back from down 2 goals, they are the pesky Sens 2.0.
Big time.
How times is that now? The Washington game was down 3-1. Chicago, you're down 3-2.
They're down 3-0 to Washington, Ross.
Yeah.
And speaking of the pesky Sens, our guy Alex Adams tweeted out Linus Ullmark after the Sens comeback victory. His opening line to the press was pesky Sens.
Oh, yeah?
So he gets it.
We like that. Ethan Fink saying, is this just a taste of what Cousins can do? Then, oh boy, we got a lot to look forward to. We got so much to look forward to because Fabian Zetterlund's going to play on Monday. He's in the air right now, Steve Steo said, so he'll be back in Ottawa, I guess, because he was just there last week playing for the San Jose Sharks, but he'll be in the lineup wearing number 20. But let's focus on number 24 after the break. We got to focus. This is Brady Tkachuk win. We got to give our boy Brady Tkachuk. How about his interview with our friend Claire Hanna right after this game? The first star, if you haven't heard it, haven't seen it, we know we got citizens in the States probably stuck watching the MSG broadcast. By the way, hat tip to Sam Rosen. It's the final time he'll call a Senators game. Long-time play-by-play voice of the Rangers doing his retirement tour right now. The CTC did a little hat tip for him at the first TV timeout. But if you didn't see this interview, and you were worried that trading away Josh Norris would put him into a shell, this guy wants it so bad.
How about the duality of interviews, Ross? This is less than 24 hours apart of him being choked up at a loss of words. He's losing his best friend. And then now to see him like this, looking at Sens fans and realizing what this team can be, hockey's a beautiful thing.
And not only that, but both of those other sides of the spectrum can be brought together with one thing. Brady Tkachuk has passion for everything he does. Brady Tkachuk cares. That is the perfect way to put it. He's showing it on the ice, and Cheryl Pounder did a great job on the broadcast today, pointing out the little details of his game, the little slip passes that he's doing in the neutral zone to hit Timmy with speed coming over the blue line, the little defensive plays that he's going off the wall instead of maybe in the past trying to stick handle out of the zone. He's making winning hockey reads, and he's getting rewarded. First goal is a great tip, high tip. And at that point, that's the exact kind of goal that they were going to beat Igor Shesterkin with, because they had 5, if not more, grade A chances in the first period. And this guy's a wall against the Ottawa Senators. I was in the middle of tweeting out the old shutout jinx. And as I was doing it, after Zibanejad made it 2-0, it was like the next shift. Brady gets 11 seconds. 11 so that's quick. That's quick to get a ozone face-off then. And then after that, man, what a game, dude. What a game. I thought they were going to tease us. I know I said earlier that might have been a little bravado, saying I knew once they made it 3-2, they made it 3-3. Maybe that's a little bit more than I actually felt at that time. But if you look at it from a standpoint of the maturity of this team, they've done it before. So it does give you a little bit of that confidence. And Brady Tkachuk, just what a player. What an Ottawa Senators legend. Did he? Yeah, because the first goal tied him for 4th all-time in goals. Is Brady Tkachuk alone 4th all-time in goals for the Ottawa Senators?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to get the
LOSP stat department. But Ross, what a flair for the dramatic in his 500th game, too. He had a big game on his 300th game up against the New York Rangers as well. So
that tied it. Brady Tkachuk just tied Marian Hossa for 4th in all-time Sens history in goals.
Let's go. How many is he behind 3?
Man, you're asking me to do math. 10, 20, 30. 30 goals away from Alexei Yashin. Now, Yashin did it in only 4 more games than Brady's at right now.
Hey, I don't care about how many games it takes you. I just want to see him climb that list.
That is unreal. And 500 games at 25 years old is incredible. When you think about the pandemic in there as well, the 56 game shortened season, this guy's an absolute monster. Sens fans, you guys who are at the CTC today did a fantastic job of the 500th game. Instead of a little stick tap, standing ovation, huge set of cheers, Brady chants, unreal. And like, that's just what the doctor ordered after a loved player like Josh Norris moves on, to bring everybody together. My question to you is, and this is a perfect transition into Dylan Cousins after the break, what is he thinking watching Brady Tkachuk do what he did today?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Dylan Cousins, you're like, all right, this is what it's like to play in meaningful games, and this fan base is behind this team, and we have a leader here. Like, what a first game for Dylan Cousins to come in here.
Dude, Brady had 2 goals, 9 shots on goal, and 4 hits, and was 75% in the dot. I'd imagine he went 3 for 4, but a phenomenal game for Brady Tkachuk. The Senators get a 4. The Senators get a 4-3 victory against the New York Rangers, a team that was tied with them going in. Senators pull 1 point ahead of the Rangers. Senators outshoot the Rangers 37-23. They give Ottawa an 0 for 5 on the power play, but like we said, Ridley Gregg's goal came just moments after the power play expired. Rangers go 0 for 2 on their man advantage. Senators snap back 51% of the draws. Rangers with 21 blocks in this game to 11 for Ottawa. Senators with 40 hits to 27 for the Rangers. And at 5-on-5, Senators with 59% of the expected goals. So much more to get into from this game. I'm talking about not only the fact that the Ottawa Senators now can really push themselves ahead in the standings with wins on Monday and Tuesday against Detroit and Philadelphia, but we're going to be scoreboard watching. And at the end of today's show, we'll let you know who you're cheering for tonight. Only really 1 or 2 games of any substance, and one of them is going on right now. But first, let me tell you about our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. It was just last week that we were at the GCP. 1 week ago today, Pillsy, we were crushing the smash burgers, the deliciousness of those smash burgers at the GCP. The vibes are absolutely free at the GCP. And not only are they going to have live music tonight, so if you're looking for something to do, matinee, why not go to the GCP, where you can get into the action. I'm talking great food, awesome drinks, and atmosphere to match. The LA Cats will be gracing the stage at the Glebe Central Pub tonight. And you can also check out their website, glebecentralpub.com, and get all of the Sens bus information. The next Senators bus is Thursday, March 13th against the Boston Bruins. They've also got a bus going against Colorado on March 20th and Columbus on March 29th. So get your tickets online. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. The vibes are free at the GCP, and that Sens shuttle's the best way to get there. Sue knows all the back roads. She always gets you there with plenty of time before puck drop. It leaves an hour and 15 minutes before the game. We recommend getting to the pub even earlier and have a fantastic time. These hats are for sale at the Glebe Central Pub if you want to get in and represent a neighborhood pub in the heart of the Glebe.
This episode is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. You guys know FanDuel is the official online sportsbook of the Locked On Senators podcast, and it's America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or you want to bet on a third period comeback for your Ottawa Senators, you can stay in on the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether I'm backing my team for a late game rally or picking an NBA player to hit a clutch three, I never feel like I miss my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get those green numbers and those trophies instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets, and check out all the promos they have. 30% live boost on NHL games today, 50% boost on same game parlays. So get in on the action with FanDuel. Make every moment more. The official sports betting partner of the NBA.
All right, welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller. We got 750 citizens vibing after a Senators win. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. It goes a long way to helping the show grow. We appreciate each and every one of you that tuned into yesterday's live reaction of the two trades, Fabian Zetterlund and this man right here, Dylan Cozens. 1 point, 9 hits. And I forgot to fill out the time on ice. We'll do
time
that.
on ice.
Yeah.
8 of them.
8 out of 8.
Ross, while you're doing that, I'll take a look at some of the super chats here, if you don't mind. Jimmy Stu says, Pilsy not hitting the panic button in December was a legendary move. I'm sorry for pushing so hard for that. Brandon, I'll never doubt you again. Jimmy Stu. He's a smart man. Jimmy Stu, thank you. I appreciate that. I was getting a lot of pressure. People were DMing me being like, dude, you're delusional. Smash that panic button. Well, here it is. The panic button. Gone. Don't even need it. If my door was open, I would have thrown it out of the room. I'm not even thinking about the panic button. I was going to take the batteries out, Ross, but you need a screwdriver to do that. I do not have a screwdriver on my desk.
Not a screwdriver guy?
Not a big handy tools guy here, so I'm not going to do that. But thank you, Jimmy Stu, for that. And then I want to answer Vern's question here. Vern says, Pills, when did you put up the Tkachuk jersey? Literally minutes before we started the postcast. I just felt Brady Tkachuk, 500th game, gets the game opening goal and gets the game winner in overtime. I had to pay my respect to Brady Tkachuk. So he has earned the jersey hanging of the night in Pillsy's podcast studio.
Oh, man, and it's so well-deserved. But let's focus now here on Dylan Cozens. What did you like about his game tonight?
Oh, boy, how much time do we have here? Well, first, Ross, let's start from the top. You know I like to do things in chronological order. No Bucky in warm-up. Thank God, this kid's an absolute beauty. He fits in with the Ottawa Senators. That Sens jersey looks so much better than a Buffalo Sabres jersey on him. And he got going right away. Like I mentioned, first shift, he finishes his check in the corner. Then he's able to have the puck in the zone. And he drops a pass, smooth drop pass for Batherson, and he rips a nice shot. 9 hits for Dylan Cozens. He gets a time on the second power play unit and ends up, like we mentioned, it counts as an even strength goal, but it was just as the power play was expiring. He hits the post, falling down on a rebound, and then Ridley Gregg buries it. And I just thought he looked good the entire game. Like every time he was on the ice, I was locked on to him, and I was really impressed with what I saw, and I was happy when this trade happened. Obviously, again, sad to see a great guy like Josh Norris go and the shakeup in the locker room, but this was a great move by Steve Staios because I think Dylan Cozens is going to fit in so well here, and we talked about it, Ross. How are we going to get Drake Batherson going? I think we just found our answer.
Oh my God, those two together, they've just got this little special something. Should we call them the Bunk Brothers? Because I don't know if you saw, Drake Batherson invited Dylan Cozens to stay at his place last night, said, hey, you don't need the hotel, we're buddies. And yesterday said that awesome. At the World Championships, they had said to each other, hey, if we play on the same team, man, we'd be best friends. My one question, though, is did he pick up Dennis Gilbert, too, and drop him off at the hotel? Yeah. Sorry, only got room for one.
Dang, that's a little awkward there. What'd you think about Dennis Gilbert's game?
I thought he was simple, and that's all you wanted to ask. He had one moment where he kind of grabbed Rempe out of a scrum, so that's what he's there for. It's just, hey, be a protector, and we'll get to it. But Travis Hamonic left the game in the third period. We hope he's all right. It looked so bad initially; it looked like a leg, but he was able to get off under his own, volition. He didn't have to be helped off the ice completely. So we're hoping Hammer's okay. And it just shows you need depth on the back end. So now, does Hamonic need to be in the lineup all the time? That's another conversation, but we never want to see guys get hurt, and we hope Travis Hamonic is okay as well.
Yeah, definitely prayers out to Hamonic. That did look bad. Dennis Gilbert only plays 6 minutes, 19 seconds in this game, so clearly he's the seventh guy getting eased in. Has 9 shifts, 3 hits. My only qualm, Ross, would be he was the guy that let Panarin sneak past him on that goal for Panarin, and that's not exactly a great look. You got to be aware when a guy like Artemi Panarin is on the ice. But other than that, fine.
Yeah, he's fine. And that's all you need, because you didn't give up Josh Norris to get Dennis Gilbert. You gave up Josh Norris to get Dylan Cousins. And I don't know if you saw, but he had 9 hits today. Dylan Cousins did.
Yeah, but Sabres fans will tell you he's gone soft.
And I might have put $40 on a Dylan Cousins point today, which is a pretty substantial one for me to bet on a single player to get a point. So
yeah, on a prop. Yeah. So, hey, props to you. That one worked out.
And I'm really, I'm really happy for Dylan Cousins, because it's one of those, we saw it with Matt Duchene, right? Like eventually figured it out. But when he got traded to Ottawa, there's a lot of pressure for you to come in. And then if it goes 3 or 4 games, you don't get one, it can turn into 10 or 15. So to get that first point out of the way, I think is just so big for the totality of this team and the Ottawa Senators. A full team win. Linus Ullmark, though, do we got to talk about the starts? Because he settled in again. He made some 10-bell saves in the third period. The Rangers were pressing for the last minute and a half of the game. I was nervous that they were going to let that slip away in regulation. I keep telling you, man, I'm more nervous in the final minute of a tie game in regulation than I am in overtime.
100%.
You can't leave those games with no points. So what do you think of Linus Ullmark tonight?
And the Sens are so good at overtime, Ross. I think every time the Sens have went to overtime this year, I've ran to FanDuel and live bet them. Like, I have utmost confidence in them 3-on-3. Look, I'm not going to do my whole song and dance because everybody knows it, and I think most people don't like hearing it. That's fine, but I don't know how you could have a more indicator that you need to give Linus Ullmark a break than the fact that he starts off every game poorly. And I know your rebuttal, Ross, is that, well, if he starts off poorly, why is he good later? I was thinking about that, and I feel like it can be relatable. Like, it's middle of the week, you're worn down at work, and you make a mistake early on in the work day. You haven't had your coffee in you, and then you get going, and you're not making mistakes anymore throughout the day. So I just think there couldn't be a more clear sign that you need to give Linus Ullmark a day off than the fact that he's always allowing poor goals at the start of games. But I anticipate he's going to play that game up against the Red Wings, and then he's going to get his break up against the Flyers. I know he hasn't played and he's gotten time off practice for a couple days, Ross, but it's just one of those things where sometimes you like to go into work and you like to be like, okay, I just know I'm not the guy right now. And you have to be ready. You have to prepare, because you're liable to come into a game if a goalie gets pulled or injured. So I'm not saying you take the whole day off, but it's just a nice bit of a mental break sometimes to get that day off. That's all I'm saying.
Are you saying that Linus Ullmark is the old adage, I got too important at work and it's ruining my life?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. That can happen as well. But I don't think this was a bad game by Linus Ullmark. Like,
no. He made some elite saves.
That's what I want to get into. He made a lot of really good saves.
The point blank chance on Panarin where he just went one pad down was enormous at that time in the game. I believe it was 3-2 at that point.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I had starred an even bigger play, but I can't find it quickly here, so I won't get into it. But no, it was a glove save. He had a glove save on someone that was just
Zibanejad. Yeah, it was after Zibanejad had scored on one shot. He had a really nice glove save on Zibanejad, but there was also the one. Maybe you're thinking of the one in the third period in tight. It was off the rush. I think it was on JT Miller.
Here it is. Yes. So it was the Sens were on the power play. The puck bounces over Shabbat's stick at the line, and JT Miller gets a partial break. And here's another thing, talking about Dylan Cousins. Dylan Cousins is the guy that gets back. And look, you can only do so much sometimes. But what you need to do in that situation is you need to take away JT Miller's time and space. And Cousins cuts across diagonally. And basically that tells JT Miller, I'm not getting to the net. I'm not getting to the middle of the ice. And I'm running out of space to get a good angle on the shot. So I got to shoot it right now. And he does that. And Ullmark flashes the leather, a big glove save. So that was a huge moment.
Huge moment in the game at that point. And we got to give stick taps to the man who tied this game as well. Michael Amadio ties this game with 3 minutes left. Like, come on. 2:52 left in the game. He pounces on a rebound. And don't look now, but David Perron with an assist on that one. What has he got? Points in 3 of the last 4 games?
He's been good recently.
Like he's finding his way onto the score sheet. Like he's not the fastest guy, never was. Yeah, it's points in 3 of the last 4 games. A goal against San Jose, goal against Chicago, and then that assist on the game-tying goal. So 3-3 going into overtime. Ottawa loses the opening possession, and they fight to get it back. And the fact, like, Brady finished his hit to take the Rangers guy out of the play, assuming that the Rangers were going to get possession.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, turnover. Timmy has the presence of mind to wait. Brady has the presence of mind not to change and to crash the net. And it was just poetic how this game ended with a Brady Tkachuk goal. Lots more to get to. We got our Send Central standouts and our boots on the ground report with Lalime's Martian. This is the Postcast presented by Locked On Senators. Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan. That is Brandon Piller. Martian will join us in a matter of minutes. He is stuck in the old traffic. I thought he knew the secret. Run! But he's not quite home yet. So let's get to our Send Central standouts. It's a 4-3 win for the Ottawa Senators, and Brady Tkachuk is the story in this one. But we mentioned briefly off the top, Tim Stützle extends his point streak to 14 games with the assist on the game-winning goal. Who is your number one Send Central standout in tonight's game?
I mean, we got to go with the captain, Brady Tkachuk. 2 goals in this one, 9 shots, 4 hits. He plays 1955 minutes time on ice, 75% in the dot, 3 for 4, as you mentioned. But the fact that he's able to open the scoring here, because Shesterkin was looking like he was just going to shut this one down with a nice, simple tip. And then this guy is just so clutch, Ross. Like, his ability to feel the moment is so huge. He's got 5 game-winning goals. Well, no, I don't know if this is updated. So it's probably 6 game-winning goals and 5 overtime goals. Like, he's just an absolute beast when his team needs him most. That is the definition of a leader. And for people, it's not many Sens fans these days. There are a quiet, collect few of them that don't think he's a good leader. But
Gary.
Gary
from the Ottawa Citizen, beat it.
Yeah, that guy sucks. But there's other fan bases that,
unless he's in the chat, Gary. If you're in the chat, man, you're all right. You're just
okay. Yeah, disavow Gary. Even if he's
it is chat. 5, by the way. You're on NHL.com. They have updated it. 5 game-winning goals for Brady Tkachuk.
Okay, nice. And 4 of them are in overtime. Thank you. But there's other fan bases that are like this guy. He just gets shots and fights. He's not a big offensive producer. He knows when he needs to step up, and he leads the team in goals for a reason. I love Brady Tkachuk so much. The man on the ice and off the ice. He's exactly what this franchise needs. So, easiest decision of my life, Ross. Brady Tkachuk is my first Send Central standout.
Oh my God, how can it not be? Like, I almost want to go a bit off the board just because, like, we spent this whole show just discussing how unreal Brady Tkachuk, who was the first star in the building, was, and we've already discussed. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give a quick stick taps, because then we'll get Martian's take on it. Martian is about to join us here. Dylan Cousins, my standout. I mean, you're watching him every time he was on the ice. Oh man. I'll let Martian get more into Cousins, because I do have one other thing I want to say. If Jake Sanderson scored on that individual effort at the start of the third period, that was he was like waiting. Oh, it's not developing. Why don't I just go through 3 guys and just go by myself?
And he had a nice deke on Shesterkin too. If he lifts that puck, it's a goal. And that would have been Sanderson's best goal of his entire career. So
to say the least.
That would be so nice if he got that one.
That was so sick. And it was just part of another dominant game. He had one play where he was going back for a puck and Matt Rempe was on him. And we know that one thing Matt Rempe can do is run guys through the boards. And he just did the quick little shake shimmy. And Rempe had to curl behind the net because he had so much momentum. Yeah. And Sanderson was gone the other way out of the zone. You don't have to go 7 defense when you have Jake Sanderson, right? Like, I know that Zetterlund's not there. I would have called up a forward, whatever. Jake Sanderson somehow is a -1 in this game. 3 shots on goal, 2 blocks, 23 minutes and 15 seconds. Fantastic effort from Jake Sanderson. Now let's get our boots on the ground report with our guy, the Martian. You had a never in doubt attitude in this one, buddy.
Fellas, of course I did. You know me. I'm always on the positive side of things. I told you what I tell you. Tell the people what I told you in the chat.
They're going to score.
They're going to tie it. I could feel it in my plums, boys, and they didn't let me down. And yet again, Brady Tkachuk just leading the way for the boys. You got to love to see that. And, I heard you guys just talking about that Sanderson individual effort. I was like, this is about to be a highlight reel goal if he could have finished that one off. But obviously just got knocked off his stick there before he was able to get that shot off. But what a rush from Jake Sanderson. And then, Nick Cousins tonight, dude.
No, Dylan, we're going to have to get used to this one.
That's the second cousin.
Honestly, I was saying it all day, and I'll probably that's going to be an issue for a while. Dylan Cousins tonight, boys, he was awesome. I mean, it's got to be tough for a guy. Quick turnaround like that. Like, basically 24 hours ago, he was traded, had to get on a flight from Florida. Not the easiest flight ever. I mean, it could be worse, but that's a long way to go. And he didn't have time to think about anything before he got in here. Got his boots on, his work boots all laced up, and he played like a dog tonight. Like I told you, he comes in immediately physical, winning puck battles, and anytime the opponents are around him with the puck, I find he just, even if he doesn't take it away from them, he just makes it just a little bit harder for them with his defensive positioning and getting his stick in the way, and a little tap here and there, whatever it may be. Dylan Cousins is obviously going to be excited to be going down and playing some important hockey games here, something that he hasn't done probably in at least a few years. I don't know when the last time Buffalo was even in the hunt, but he's obviously excited to be here, and I heard his post-game presser after too. Sounds like he's got some familiar faces in the room, and he's already feeling comfortable with the guys here in Ottawa, so it's great to see.
Martian, we got to get your boots on the ground report. I got to imagine for a 12:30 game, that's the most energy you've seen in the CTC apart from playoff games.
Yeah, you got to give credit to the kids, I think, for that one, Pilsy. A lot of children, obviously, were in the house tonight with the matinee, obviously, and it being kids' night as well. And shout out to the Sens marketing team for the little backpacks that they were giving away. Were pretty badass. I was a little jealous of some of these kids walking around. They all look so cool with their jerseys on and these little red backpacks with the Sens logo on it. It was a great look. But yeah, the kids brought the energy, and I think a lot of the parents were just feeding off their own kids. So for sure, Pels, great energy for a matinee. And you know me, I love a good matinee. So that was a blast to be part of. And I saw as well, I'm not sure if you guys have caught it yet, but just like that little post-game interview that they do with Claire Hanna usually on the bench right after the game ends. And who other but Brady Tkachuk gets that call to do that one. Obviously, he scores the overtime winner and had a goal earlier in the game. And, the fans, Brady. And a lot of people have been calling this for a while, right? We want to show this guy some love. Yep. Obviously, with everything going on political climate-wise, there's some booing of his own national anthem. He's probably not a huge fan of that. And it just goes to show you what a great community Ottawa can be when they rally behind a guy like that. And he was loving it. He was loving it. You could see him. He was like, okay, let's go, right? And it was just a great response, I thought, from the Ottawa crowd tonight. And no booing tonight of the U.S. anthem. It was nice.
Yeah.
Well, Martian, that little girl crushed it just quickly. Like she was nervous for a bit. She took her time, and then she just hit that anthem out of the park. Shout out to her.
Yeah, I was a little worried for her for that first second because she had her eyes closed. She was trying to, maybe compose herself a little bit. She did a great job, a really, really great job. Once she started belting it out, we all knew she was going to hit it hard. So Good for her. And yeah, I mean, yeah, just another example of the kids showing up tonight. And the little guy announcer that they had going up there with Johnny Trottier.
He was so good.
He was kicking butt too, man. This kid ruled. He was giving the energy, bringing the heat, and I thought he was good too. So yeah, it was just a great kids night. I think huge success for Ottawa in that regard.
Final question for me, Martian. Boots on the ground report. The boys have said this has to be about 20 game sevens down the stretch. Did it feel like a playoff atmosphere in the barn tonight?
It was pretty close to it, Ross. I wouldn't say it quite felt like a playoff atmosphere because, we've all been part of that before, and that's just a different animal. But it was pretty close, especially in that third period when they made it 3-2 and they knew they had a chance. And you could hear the Rangers fans. There's a good amount of them in there tonight trying to get the "Let's go Rangers" going. As soon as that started, the strong people in Ottawa didn't let it happen. They drowned them out immediately, and the go Sens go chants were starting. And that third period especially, you could really tell that the guys were feeding off that crowd, and I think the crowd really brought that little extra heat, the seventh man, if you will.
Martian, Ross had Dylan Cousins as a standout. I had Brady Tkachuk. Who is your Sens Central standout of the night?
Dude, it's just impossible for me to ignore the German. He was so good again tonight, boys. It's just like if he's not, we're gonna have to talk about it, right? Like Tim Stützle, every time he gets the puck on his stick, he's a huge threat. And my mom hasn't been to a Sens game in I don't even know how long, and so she didn't even know any of the players, right? And I was trying to tell her beforehand, like, here are the guys you got to watch, here's the new guys, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't even have to tell her about Tim Stützle, and she goes, "Oh my God, this number 18, he's doing stuff out there." And I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, like, trust me, like, he is the guy to watch. He's an electric factory. He was an electric factory out there again tonight, and so he's gonna have to be my standout." And he had a great assist on that goal as well, that overtime winner to Brady to keep that assist streak alive and the point streak alive. So I'm going with the German for my standout, fellas.
Hell yeah, Marshy. We love the boots on the ground report. We'll see you back on the postcast on Monday, brother. Big game.
Yeah, man. I just got home, so I got to go take care of the dog. But you guys have a great rest of the show, and shout out to the chat. Love you guys. Give me a Go Sens Go in the chat on my way out here.
Go Sens Go in the chat. There goes Lalime's Martian. You can find him on Twitter at Lalime's Martian. Absolute beauty and friend of the program. Pilsy, final thoughts from you after a 4-3 win against the New York Rangers.
This just feels so good, Ross. I like the swing of emotion when this team was down 3-1. I was down in the dumps, and I was like, oh, we're going to come off such a vibes are immaculate day from the trade deadline, and then we're going to lose this big game to the Rangers. They're going to get the 2 points, and we're going to have to figure out ways to get it done later. But no, the Ottawa Senators were more resilient than that, and I should have given them more credit and had more faith because they find a way not only to come back and get 1 point, but win the game with Brady Tkachuk as the guy that puts the nail in the coffin for the Rangers there. Like, this was such a fun hockey game to watch, a matinee game, and now Sens fans, it's 4/16. You got all Saturday evening and night to celebrate this one. Soak it in. We all deserve this, and I just got such a good feeling that there are more good times to come.
All right, final thoughts from me. Scoreboard watching. We're going to be doing a lot of it down the stretch, and there are 2 games of substance for the Ottawa Senators tonight, one a lot lesser. So let's start with that. We're rooting for the San Jose Sharks. Thank you for Fabian Zetterlund. We'd like you to beat the New York Islanders. It's not imperative. The Islanders are a little further back in the standings. The Islanders are now 6 points behind the Ottawa Senators. However, they do have a game in hand. I know they traded Brock Nelson and everything, but we want to push these teams as far down, especially when they're playing a Western Conference opponent. But Pilsy, giddy up. Get the cowboy boots on because we are Calgary Flames fans tonight. The Calgary Flames taking on the Montreal Canadiens, coming into action. The Canadiens are tied in games played with Ottawa, and they're 3 points back. The Canadiens have 1 overtime loss in their back pocket against Edmonton, but they have points in 6 straight games. They're 5-0-1 in their last 6. So let's get a regulation win for the Calgary Flames tonight. That is your cheering guide for the Ottawa Senators.
Love it. And it's so nice, Ross, when your team has a matinee game and you get the win, and then you can just kind of sit back and let the cards fall where they are, and all that anxiety and nervous energy you have, you don't have to worry about. And Ross, our guy Senator, new LOSP stats column. Start tracking this one, Ross. Timmy Cousins and Pinto record went together 1-0-0.
And that is a perfect place to leave it as we pull up the standings for those watching on YouTube. That is, of course, not including the Bruins Lightning game that is in the middle of the second period. We're rooting for the Lightning, but again, it felt like the Bruins really threw in the towel with their trade deadline moves.
Imagine trading your captain on the deadline to a rival.
And for Bruins fans, like, you guys have had 3 captains in the last 6 years after having the longest serving captain in the league. Chara, Bergeron, Martian. You're left with empty hands, and barely any prospect pool. Real sad. Real happy day for the Ottawa Senators. Huge comeback win, down 3-1 with 10 minutes left. They come back. They get the win in overtime. Shout out to Brady Tkachuk for the 2 goals. Shout out to Brady Tkachuk for his 500 games played. We've got a 14-game point streak ongoing for Tim Stützle, and we'll be back on Monday for an amazing show. I mean, Fabian Zetterlund will be at the morning skate. We'll have a game day preview. We've got former captain of the Team Canada World Junior team, Thomas Hickey, who will be broadcasting the game on Amazon. He'll be on the show on Monday as well.
And just a little tease, make sure to watch the pregame show for the Amazon Monday Night Hockey.
Sens win 4-3 against the New York Rangers. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you missed any of our live reaction, plenty to catch up on. 3 episodes yesterday of LOSP. For today, we say goodbye. That's Brandon Piller. I'm Ross Levitan. Let's get some Go Sens Go in the chat. Shout out to the Glebe Central Pub at 779 Bank Street. This has been the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast. Your team every day.